There we go. Okay. All right. Hi guys, how are you? I know that this is a video and we are gonna be having this conversation and we're kind of gonna forget that you're there. So make sure that you grab your notebooks, grab your pens, close Facebook, close Facebook and Instagram. And I have your questions right here. And I'm gonna ask them and ask them to introduce themselves in a minute. But I can promise you, we're gonna be working on our shirts. Like you see my shirt right here, they will help me with that. And I really want to help you avoid the same mistakes that I made when I first started. And I also wanted to talk about the difference between working with a regular t-shirt company and a Kingdom-based company where they can actually get what you're trying to do. So that's what we're doing this. You can ask me more questions and I can always go back and ask them, but I want us to have this candid conversation about the business and what we do. Make sense? Cool. Yeah. Right. So hello again. Hi. We've been talking up at phone here, which is awesome. But I wanted them to know a little bit. Introduce yourself. Just tell them what your name is and what you do and how do you get started doing this whole t-shirt thing.
Okay, my name is Sergio and Brunny Rijo. We have a company called Inspired Graphics Designs. We are Kingdompreneur, right?
Yay! They got the lingo, yeah.
So what we do is all faith-based. We promote faith-based apparel. So it's nothing to it's everything that we do is Holy Spirit inspired, and things that are dropped into my spirit. And then I'm a graphic designer by trade and degree, and I also teach graphic design in a high school. Vocational high school, so I'm a vocational graphic design teacher. So everything that I do, it's all my designs is based on text or fonts that communicate God's word. And that's all I'm trying to do. It's just another avenue to promote God's word or to spread His love and His word. And that's basically what we do. Awesome. So we have that. So I've always, a little bit about my background, I've always designed. I've always done, I started off at a very young age doing, doodling on a paper, and then from that, coloring books, of course, and then from that point, as I got into teenager, I got into graffiti, and then doing t-shirts and airbrushing and jackets and and then screen printing, which is still a passion of mine. And there's a whole bunch of other aspects to a t-shirt business that you can get into, but that's how I started. I'm into drawing, I'm into painting. Even though I haven't done it as much as I would love to, but those are the things that still that call me.
Okay, that makes sense. So then how do you guys do it together?
So as a business, since we've been married and I've been making it into a business. I've always wanted to have my own business because I want to control my own time.
That's right.
All right. And I want to control not just my time, but I want to be financially free. And I want to be able to call my own shots.
Right.
That's something that's been in my heart for a long time. And that's one of the things when I first met my wife, we talked about. I just want that. I just want to, and now that I've been, living for Christ, I want to employ people.
Right.
I want to give back to my community. I want to give back to people who need a job, maybe even to young people, teach other people to do the same thing that I'm doing. And they can start off small and then eventually grow as big as they want to grow.
Right.
So right now for us, it's a part-time basis because we work full-time.
Right.
We do it in the basement, or what I call the lab, at our home.
Yeah.
So
nice setup.
It's a nice setup. It's a perfect setup. I mean, we asked God for a home and gave it to us the way. And everybody has their own space, and I have my space.
Nice.
And I share my space a little bit with the laundry room, but it's my space.
Right.
So, but other than that, it's growing more and more as I let God drive.
Nice.
I think that's important, that we allow the Lord to take control, because it's not my business.
Right.
It's God's business. I'm just His servant, and I'm taking care of it.
Right.
I'm just that's what I'm a steward, right? I'm taking care of his house, because my house is his house.
Right.
It's really his house. I'm just paying the mortgage, right? And he's providing.
He's
right? He's providing. Right. He's providing for everything. He's the leader of my company. He's the CEO.
Right.
I'm just the COO. You know,
Right.
I'm just underneath him. And you know, so with my wife and she handles the marketing, and she handles the other side of the business. I handle more of the creative side. Yeah. So I let her handle the
he does. He's the brains in design.
Yeah.
You know, so I take care of the customer in terms of what are you looking for, what is the design, you know, what color shirt do you want, long sleeve, short sleeve, you know, what are the different options. Talk about pricing, as well. Right. So I bring all of that to him. And then if he has more questions,
then you go back to the client.
Yeah, then I go back to the client. If we need to meet, you know, together, you know, to make sure everyone's on the same page, we will do that as well. But we're very customer service driven.
Yeah.
We want our customers to be happy, you know, and we take a lot of pride in delivering exactly what they want and delivering quality. I think that makes for repeat customers. You know, and word of mouth is the best way to market. It's free, and it brings more customers, you know. So
it sounds like it's like a marriage made in heaven, because like you complement each other's gifts, and then it births this amazing thing. So many of the things that you guys touched on, we talked about inside the club. So as I was telling you earlier, like what you said, I'm sure it's resonating with everybody, because many of them still have jobs, and what they're learning in the club is how to build what they have so they can eventually quit their jobs and do full-time what they want to do, which is do more ministry, but also have money, because money is needed. We all need it.
Right, exactly.
So having said all of that, and you're doing this, and you guys are working together, I wanted them to know what the process is, because you said like screen printing. I don't know idea what that is. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah. The difference in printing, because I know there's I think lamination that you can like iron on, and then screen printing. Like, what are the different options for printing, and what does that mean in terms of like pricing?
Okay, so there's a few options to get your designs onto a shirt, or right. So we're talking about T-shirts or bags or whatever. So there's a few options. Screen printing is the most traditional way of doing things. What we have is direct to garment. So computer to garment. It does not limit me to doing colors or, you know, X amount of colors. I can say we give you one set price, and this is what it is. What it is. It doesn't hurt me in any way. But with screen printing, what happens is, like, for instance, your shirt is multicolor. You have white, orange, you have brown, you have yellow, blue. So right there, that's 4 screens. So it's a process of creating 4 different screens. It's longer. They have to charge for it. Each individual screen is.
That's why I asked, because I said, wait, I said one color because I knew. I'm like, I don't want them to be telling me.
Yeah, no, I mean, so because we have direct to garment, which is the new technology, and it's getting better as time goes on. It's the new thing. I jumped onto the new thing, even though I love the traditional screen printing. And I think it's still needed. It's not going away anywhere. I mean, because sometimes I say to myself, wow, I should invest in screen printing instead of DTG, which is short for direct to garment. But so going back, screen printing is the traditional way, and you have individual screens depending on the amount of colors that you have. The more colors you have, the more expensive it gets. And then with them is they don't like to do minimum orders. A screen printer doesn't like to do 12 or 2 or 1 because it's not worth their money. It's not worth their time.
So are these the ones that I was showing you? Are those screen printed?
They can. They look like they were.
We're examining them. Yeah. At least one of them looks like a screen printed, which is this one.
Yeah, this can be like.
This could possibly be a print,
which is why they were so costly.
And what leads us to believe that is because of it's stressed. The you know how it's stressed too, and the feel of it as well. So that kind of lets us know that it could have been screen printed too. One of the things I've learned a lot from the industry and this guy right here. But one of the things that is good about screen printing too, because we don't want to eliminate it. We don't want to say it's bad either.
Right.
But there's a big component that has to do with art when it comes to screen printing. You can get really, really creative and blending colors, you know. So if you have an artistic side with art, I wouldn't eliminate it, you know, completely. But you do have to be selective when taking orders and deciding if you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna do screen printing versus the DTG.
Right. DTG is good. It's just I'm not limited to 12.
Okay.
You know, because with screen printing, you're you know, 12 is the minimum they will probably go because it's not worth it's not worth their time to set up. And and with screen printing, there's a process. You have to make the art, right? And then you have to break the art apart.
So imagine just, you know, so just to give you an illustration. So if this, you know, has 4 colors, for those 4 colors, you have to make a screen for each of those. So, right. So to pass the first color, and then you got another screen to do the second color.
Right.
So if you're only gonna get an order for 4 shirts,
so for instance, another thing, like your shirt right now is colorful, right?
Right.
So with that shirt, they would need not only all the colors that are seen there, but they also need a white underbase because it's a dark shirt. And that shirt, sometimes you can get away with using the color of the shirt to show through to eliminate a color.
Right.
But you also need that white base, underbase, so that the colors can pop.
Wow.
So and that's what with DTG it does. It kind of does the same thing when I did that with the DTG, it does the white underbase and then it throws the colors that it needs on top of it.
Right.
So that's one aspect. Screen printing. I just touched upon direct to garment.
Right.
So whatever I see on the computer, whatever I design on the computer, I can tell it does it. It's just like what I see.
Like you would on paper.
Right. What I see is what I get. Right. What I see is what I get. And there's a process again to that, to making that a t-shirt as well. Everything has a process. Then there's another aspect that heat transfer vinyl. Okay, there's heat transfer vinyl. Which is basically what I have on.
You just iron it out.
You kind of you heat press it on. So this is a heat press. It doesn't fade. I mean, it lasts a long time.
And it is that. So let's say, because I think we're learning a lot, and a lot of it went so deep, because that will give you choices. So if you have to print shirts because they're going to a conference or they're gonna preach somewhere, they want shirts, probably screen press is not gonna be the fastest way.
It all depends in who you use and who you're working with too, because like for instance, I use this. Another process that I want to talk about is it's heat press, screen printing heat press. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay.
So they will screen print this for me, and then I would take it and heat press it onto the shirt. So it even feels like a screen print. Got it. Which is, again, it's one color is cheaper, multicolor is more expensive, but you still get good quality. So going back, so then there's the heat transfer vinyl. Again, the more you do, the more layers you have, or the more colors you have, the more expensive it is.
Right. So what about the people that have, because I know I've seen people, like for example, our church, we have the print in the front and then they also have a little print in the back. That's another component that you have to pay for if you have it, or is it the same?
Yeah, they have an in-house person that does that.
Right, but I'm saying if you were printing that, is that an extra piece? Like, will that cost
Yeah, that's
more?
an extra charge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most people like to, do the front a price and adding a second thing. It's because again, it's time. When you're looking at the factors of time, labor, the process, you have to, whatever you did on the front, now you got to do it on the back, just to get the,
Right. So the reason why I'm asking these questions, guys, is because I want you to be aware that when you're gonna print a shirt, don't go wild and be like, you see someone's shirt, like those rappers or influencers, and they have these crazy shirts, and you're like, I'm gonna do just that. Well, they're ordering 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 shirts, so their pricing goes, the cost goes down,
Right.
and that's why they can do that. But if you're gonna order not those numbers,
Mhm.
you have to keep in mind that it's gonna cost you more. So just keep in mind. I know we got pretty technical, but we wanted to give you the choices. So when you go talk to the person, hopefully you're gonna keep it here that you know what you're asking, and then probably the part that I love the most about what you guys do is the consultation part. Like when I was talking to Bruni, I was like, okay, I showed her pictures of what I have done before, those shirts, and I said, there's nothing wrong with those shirts. It's the part that's missed. It was not even close to this, right? So the moment I said my cup runneth over, she got it. Like I didn't have to explain that's from Psalms or where it's at. Like she's like, I knew she got it. I knew when she talked to you, you were gonna get it, and then you guys went and did your thing. So let's talk about the consultation aspect. Somebody comes to you and be like, hey, I wanna print these shirts, and they never print the shirts before. Like, what's the process? Like, what kind of questions do they get?
The number one thing, and you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'll talk about it in a minute. One of the things that you want to keep in mind is very important because we come across this a lot. When people come to you with an idea and they do not have a design, okay? When you come to, whether it's us or any other person that does this as a business, there is a design fee, okay? You're paying that person to design for you, okay? So lots of people think that it's just a t-shirt or and putting that logo or the illustration on the shirt, but there is a design fee, okay, that goes into it. Some people will charge a flat fee. There are some people that will charge an hourly fee. Okay, it all depends on the person, you know, that you're working with. Okay. Also, when you're using multicolors, that's gonna play a role also in how much you're gonna pay. If you're going to be designing something where you're gonna put it on, not just a shirt, but you're gonna use it as a logo on letterhead, we strongly encourage people to stick to one color, 2 colors max, because everything, you want it to make sure that it's transferable and that you're consistent with your branding, you know?
Yeah,
it's part of the consulting.
No, yeah, that's part of it. And the other thing is that what we get is that, oh, I need this, design this, like straight from Etsy. Like that's number one thing. I don't steal from anybody. That's not God like, right? That's not what God wants us to do. Now, you want when I've seen you. I went to your website and I seen that you had that, and I knew that my cup runneth over, but I was asking the Holy Spirit to inspire me, to do something different, and then I was like, what can I do different that's gonna like, wow, like this is it, like this is the design, so it's different. It's not something that I've already seen, like we've gotten orders like, this is what I want. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you something similar.
It's inspired.
It's inspired similar.
Right.
Like, we had Christmas stuff recently, and I'm like, I'll do something similar, but it's going to be my style, and it's going to be it's not going to be what you showed me from Etsy.
And the customer will get approved.
Like, you like this? Yeah, like, you like this?
You like this?
No. You want to take away?
Like for me, that the only question, we had no changes to my shirt. The only question that I sent back was, I want to make sure we stay at the same price. I was burned or not burned, like scarred from screen printing, knowing that if we had more colors, that was going to cost more. So I was aware of that, but the design itself, I was happy. And I'm like, listen, we don't have to make any changes if the price stays the same. So that's something that I want you to be aware of. The stuff is copyrighted, that you can get a cease and desist letter. You can be sued from people. So we are all safe, right? And if you're not safe, you're safe friendly. Just be honorable. Like somebody spend their time, they paid someone to design something. So if you see something, what I have done, because I'm not a designer, when I'm creating something, I would create it from several places. And I would tell the designer, look, I like this font. I like this color. I even said, I like the swoop of that letter. And then I said, from that, I want it to say this,
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
and then give it your spin.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
I know that artists like that. So that's another thing that I will
Yes.
tell you. So if you have an idea of what you like, give them pictures,
Yes.
even sketch it. Even if you're really bad at sketching, I learned that designers love sketches. So if you
Right.
have it, because what happens is, I don't know why, but you guys speak a different language,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Like, so if I say I want something and I want something simple, what's simple to me, it's not gonna be simple to you.
Right.
Like, we have to know. I just learned the hard way that you need to show them with pictures, because saying it with words is not gonna go.
Right.
Right. And you asked a lot of good questions when we were working on that.
Right.
You know, so I encourage everyone that's watching, you know, ask a lot of questions.
Right.
You're paying for a service. So, and it doesn't bother us. In fact, we want the questions because we want to make sure that we're delivering what you want.
Right.
So make sure to ask, you know, if you don't like the font, then just say, you're not hurting our feelings. I always tell
Right.
customers that, like, if you don't like it, just tell us. We will go back to the drawing board,
Right.
you know, and you might have initially thought you wanted blue. And then when you saw it up front, you know what, I want it red.
Right.
You know, so ask questions, ask like a lot of questions to make sure that everyone's on the same page and everyone's happy.
Right.
Right.
No, that's huge.
And the number one thing is, like, when I'm designing, I'm not designing for me. I'm designing for you.
Right.
You're the one that's ultimately going to have to love it and live with it.
Right.
You're paying for the service. So, like you mentioned, like pictures, the font, or I like this, what they did over here and taken from here. And if you can do something creative with these elements,
Right.
then that way it helps with the process, because you have a vision and you're trying to convey that vision to the designer, and that designer's ultimately going to give it right back to you.
Right.
So you having all those elements for your ultimate design, that's what helps, and that's what creates your logo.
Right.
Because it's people have to understand as well, is that it's custom. It's, you know, it's not cookie cutter. You're not going to, you know, to the Nike store and getting Air Force Ones that everybody has. You're going to get a custom made pair sneakers for you, or clothing or suit tailored to you. It doesn't fit me, but it fits you because it's made for you. Right. And that's what designing is. One of the clients that we worked with asked that same questions. So what is the design fee? Because they knew, and I had to, we sat with them and then said, you know, there's a printing charge and then there's an art charge. Because we want just to clarify, because again, I've gotten burnt as well.
We learned.
We learned the hard way, where I kind of gave my stuff away for free. And beforehand, in trusting in good faith and thinking, and until this day, I still haven't received. Right. But that's okay, you know. I learned.
They taught you something.
Yeah.
It's worth.
So
it's worth
now, I always say, you know, there's a design fee, and then there is, you know, you can bring me your stuff and I'll print that. But you're still gonna have, either you do it or somebody else is gonna do it for you. Right. Either way, you're gonna have to pay.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's also knowing what you want and what the goal of the product is. If your goal is to make it pain free, then you want to work with someone that knows what they're doing. You want to be clear on what you want and avoid wasting time, everybody's time. That's why I'm always telling them there's a process to things. I did it the wrong way. Let's do it the right way. So there's a couple questions that they ask, and I know there's no right or wrong questions, just asking from your expertise if you've seen it. So one question asks, what have you seen if people are into V-neck or crew neck, or like, are there any styles that are more popular than others when it comes to the neck?
Well, we tend to see that women tend to lean more towards the V-neck.
Okay.
You know, it does have a more feminine, you know, look to it. And then the men tend to gravitate to the traditional scoop. Okay. You know,
crew neck.
The crew neck, and the hoodies.
Yeah.
And the hoodies as well.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
That makes sense. In terms of colors, so we're asking me, are there any colors that sell more than others?
I think
black and white are the
I
two.
think the top ones that usually when we get requested is black, white, and
Yeah.
gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, but mostly the black and white.
Now let's talk about the rate of the shirts, because I know that not all shirts are
Huge.
created equal as
Yes.
we were talking about. So when someone is looking at, they come to you, let's say that they come and they say, I'm brand new to shirts, I don't know what I want. How do you advise them? Like, how do you help them pick the right product for them?
So again, we kind of we have like a range of what they want to spend, because
Okay.
you have your basic, you have like a middle grade, and then you have your more premium shirts. The premium shirts are cost a little more, but the quality is much better.
Right.
It fits right on your body. The stitching, there's stitching on the side. It's not a tube. You know, I'm learning every day more and more on the people that I follow in the t-shirt industry. But we use Bella Canvas. They have their stitching is right down the seam on the side of the body. It's smooth. It's already soft. It's ring sprung, 100% cotton. It's combed. So, and it's not going to deteriorate. You know, it's not going to get stiff after the first wash.
And when he says run and combed, what that means is it's you're gonna wash it and it's durable.
Yeah.
You know, you can maybe tumble dry it, hang it up on a hanger, and you're good.
And it's pre-shrunken already, and it comes like that from the whole.
And I love the fact that the sizing, it seems to be true to size. Sometimes you get a small shirt and it's like
people
baby
ask
size.
us all the time. We tell them it's, you know, it's a good question too. We tell them it's true to size.
Yeah.
So is that your go-to shirt?
That's our go-to.
That's our favorite.
Yeah.
That's our favorite. However, we don't discourage the first option. It's not the same quality. However, we don't scratch it out completely, because there may be occasions or events that they're appropriate for.
Right.
For example, if we get a customer that is coordinating a birthday party, you know, they're only gonna wear that shirt once.
Right.
So, you know, that's when you gotta make the decision. You know, it's for an event, okay? It's an item that's gonna be worn for a party, okay? And the people that are wearing it aren't necessarily gonna wear it again.
Right.
So, you know, it's not a bad shirt. I always like to point that out. It's not a bad shirt. You're gonna wash it. It's not gonna fall apart.
Right.
But, you know, if you compare it to a Bella Canvas,
Right.
you're gonna wash it over and over and over again, you know, and you're gonna wear it, and it's just a different feel, just like he explained. It's very, very different. So we always give them the different, you know, options. This is what the first, you know, option is, and this is the type of quality, and then you're gonna pay a little more for this, you know, Bella Canvas. And people tend to gravitate towards the Bella Canvas. The people that tend to stick with the first option is Christmas events. You know, we have a couple of orders that we're finishing up or working on. They're like, you know, the whole family's gonna wear the same shirt. They're gonna do the basic shirt.
Right. Because it's one time.
It's a one time.
Right.
Unlike something that you're promoting, you know, there's
something
a
that you want
difference.
for your brand. So that's a great thing. If it's gonna be a branded product, then you're more than likely, you're better off spending a little bit more money, because now people are gonna associate that shirt with your brand.
Correct.
So if you want them to think that you're cheap and your stuff is like rough and anybody can get it, then you know you go with the cheaper stuff.
Right.
But if you want people to be proud, I remember going to an event and I paid $45 for his long sleeve shirt like this. It's like $45.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I paid it.
Yeah.
Because it felt nice.
It
like
felt
I
good.
could go to church with that. It was that cute. Like, it was
Exactly.
cute. It fit nice. It felt really great
Good
to
on
the
the body.
touch.
Yeah.
So I gave them $45 and it made me feel good about the speaker.
Right.
I'm like, wow, that's their brand.
We were just in Boston recently. We went to a restaurant, Cheers,
Yeah.
and they have like a gift shop.
Right.
And you know, everywhere we go, of course, anything that's a print, we're checking it out. We're feeling it. You know, we're looking at the prices.
Right.
And there was a shirt like that. It was a shirt like that, and it had Cheers on it. And I think it was $32.
Easy.
$35. It was like
Easy.
$35, and we
It
didn't
might
even.
be a little bit more, like 38.
Yeah,
But
and
easy.
we didn't even look at the hoodies. But
Right, that would have been even one more.
yeah, and then they had like a little onesie for a baby. That was $18 for
Right.
one onesie.
Right.
You know,
And
then
it was just
then
simple.
like
It was a simple
yeah,
print.
and it was just like, and then they had like a 3T T-shirt, you know, for an infant, same thing, and it was $22, and it had like literally it had like a ladybug on it, and we were just like, oh my god.
It's also knowing your market. So we
Yeah.
talk about pricing, which is great. So if you have clients or customers and they're not, your product is $50, maybe $100. Tell them a shirt that's $30, it's not gonna fly. So in that in that case, I would highly recommend you to go with the lesser shirt, because your audience cannot support the more expensive shirt. So just keep in mind your audience. That's what I always tell people.
Sure. Yeah.
What do they usually spend with you? Because if they don't spend a lot, they can't support a $45 shirt. It's just not gonna happen. So you brought some stuff with you. Let's talk about what you have, and then just talking about the difference, because I've seen some really cool stuff. And then I want to talk about the hoodies, because I know people always want to print them, but the cost.
Yeah. So this is one of the hoodies, and this was designed by Sergio. This has been a very popular design, and we've had a lot of orders, and people request it. Okay, so it says Jesus. Can you see it? Okay. It says Jesus, and then you see all of the roots. Okay, so it's sending a message that you're rooted on Jesus.
Nice. I'm not even a hoodie person, but this is nice.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of good feedback from this. We've had people order the hoodies in different colors. Sergio just did one, a white hoodie. It looked beautiful.
With the red?
Yeah, like really popped. Yeah, really popped the colors. So he's done black, right?
Yeah.
You've done gray, you've done white. So he does these. Okay. And just it has the pockets, and it has the strings, and it has the hoodie, and he's able to order these as well. So we have a vendor that we work with. So there's that one.
Yeah.
And then there's a T-shirt. This is a Bella canvas, which is really a nice feel. Yeah, good quality. So this one designed as well by Sergio, and it says God first in everything. This has been a popular one too. Yeah. Several people. We post the shirts on Facebook. You know, the orders and whatnot, and designs, and we let people know that, you know, you can have this design, or you can custom make your own. You know, but this has been popular too. We've done this on white. White T-shirts.
White
too.
T-shirt.
And then they're on
but this
black.
Yeah. So everything I reverse the colors.
Okay.
You can reverse the colors, you know, and this could go on a hoodie too. So you're not limited. It is not just for a T-shirt.
Yeah, this design, I can use it on anything.
On anything.
Yes, I was not aware that you guys had your own designs. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And this is what I made for our church.
Oh right, that I love.
Yeah,
that. Everybody's waiting for that.
Yeah.
We cannot wait to order that.
It's simple, but
No.
it's impactful.
Right.
You know.
Right.
We're members of Flowing Rivers International Church, and so it's I am fried.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're representing the ministry.
And that's Canva too. Is that
No, this is an all-style T-shirt.
Okay.
This is one of the like a medium grade T-shirt.
Okay, so the Bella Canva is above this.
Yeah.
It's like one step down.
This is
Maybe one step down.
Yeah, like one step down.
Yeah, and since they're gonna be, and this is appropriate. It's like it's not bad, you know. But the reason why they stuck with this particular grade is because it is gonna be a fundraiser.
Right.
So you know you can't get an expensive.
No, it doesn't make sense. Because then you're paying too much. That's the thing, the cost. So you have to look at when you buy the shirt, right? You need to look at how much am I willing to invest, because you have to pay for the shirts, and then you have to sell them. So you have to look at it. Let's say wild number, a shirt costs you $20 to print. You're gonna sell it for $25 because all you're making is $5, and that you're not in that's not business. Okay,
that's not business.
That's not business. So you have to keep the cost as low as possible. That's why you have to talk to your designer and say, okay, this is what I want. This is kind of how much I want to make.
Yeah.
And then what kind of printing should I do?
Yeah, and decide, is it going to be for branding? Is it going to be for fundraiser?
Those are great questions to know, because sometimes maybe you gotta do giveaways. Then you give away not the crummy ones, but the basic,
Right.
because it's a giveaway,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And if you wanna have a giveaway, maybe you're gonna give away a whole bunch. But if you're only gonna give up one, then you have one of the really good ones. Because what happens with giveaway is that you are representing your brand. So everybody's like, oh my God, like I know when people do giveaways, they make money because people might not win, but now they have brand awareness and they want to place an order because they really liked it.
Right.
So that's the difference of what do I want to accomplish with this, and then moving accordingly. But you're supposed to make money. I've seen people, and I know it all depends on what they're doing, but if I see something that costs $10, I'm questioning.
Right.
I'm questioning how good it is. So you have to know your brand, and you can always elevate your brand by the price. I'll give you a quick example. I wrote a book. It was over 300 pages long, and I was trying to sell it for $20, and it was not selling. It was amazing about design. Like I style. I love style. Like I love my jewels, my colors.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I wrote all about it: shoes, bag, hair, you name it. It's not selling. I'm like, what's going on? I went to a conference, and then there was a publisher there. It was a while ago. And then he's like, yeah, this is not going to sell. I'm like, how come? This is great. He's like, it's too cheap. You have to double the price. When I changed, I didn't change nothing else other than the back price on the back to $38. That's all the problem.
Wow.
Just the perception, because if I call it, it was my book that's called Style and Faith, the complete style guide. If it's a complete guide, you're going to have to want to pay, right? Because it's over 300 pages. It's got pictures. It's got websites.
Right.
All I did was change the price, and that made all the difference.
Wow.
So you got to price. It's not only having a great product; it's pricing it accordingly.
Give it value.
Give it value, and then keep it in line with what you do. So when I have a program and I'm charging someone $1,500, I cannot have a shirt that costs me $5 to print. I can't. Like I can't. My brand cannot afford it.
Right.
I have to pay a little more and get a really nice shirt, because the client that's giving me the $1,500 is not gonna buy a $5 shirt, even though when I sell it for $15 or $20. It feels like a $5 shirt. It looks like a $5 shirt. It's knowing your brand, knowing the gift that you have on the inside of you, and then giving yourself that value. I'm worth this.
Right.
And then teaching your audience. And then sometimes you have to change your audience. You might have different shirts for different audiences. Some audiences might just want to get a shirt for $10 and you give them that. And then you have another audience that pays another price. It's just
we've been in situations just, where we have given people a fair price, the right value, and they've walked away. And we'll be honest, it stings, because the desire is for everyone to work with you, but then that's when you have to make a choice, So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna lower the price so that person can work with me.
right.
You can't do that.
I can do that.
You can't do that.
So what happens? Somebody has a question about trademarking. I don't know if you know that. When you design something for someone, who owns the design? Do you own it, or do they own it?
No, if they're designing with me, right? I'm creating for them. They own it.
They own it.
I don't own it.
Okay.
For example, this design, the Fry, I Am Fry, this belongs to Plum Rivers International.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're the owners, so they decide when they're going to sell it, if they're gonna do a fundraiser, whatever it is that
Because they're my client. So it's theirs.
But then what happens with would you give them the artwork?
They ask for it.
They ask for it.
I have it, but
Right. So
ultimately, I design it for you.
So
I
you
give you the art.
working.
I give you the artwork. I just finished the logo for my niece, and she's not here. She's in Florida, and I sent her all the files in 5-6 different ways so that she can use it.
Right.
So I don't own it. And again, the way I work with her is the way I would work with anyone. She had ideas.
Right.
She gave me 3 ideas. She loved a certain type of font. I gave her that. She wanted some leads or whatever. I gave her that. I gave her what she wanted.
Yeah.
But she owns it.
And that's the reason why we have to charge for design.
Right.
Because you know, you might request, can you design this for me? You know, and you pay for the design, and not necessarily you're gonna order shirts with us.
Right.
You know, but then his 3 or 4 hour time,
Right.
you know, that he spends on creating that, who's gonna
Right.
pay for that?
Right.
You
That makes
see?
sense.
Right.
That makes sense. And it's great to, what I love about the fact that you're keeping the design in-house is that you have the shirt expertise, you have the printing expertise, and then when you marry that with the actual design,
Right.
you're gonna have a cohesive final product. It's balanced, it's cohesive, because everybody is on one accord,
Right.
which is so
Yeah.
important. You need to work with people that speak your language.
One of the things that we want to point out too is, as business partners, we decided to charge a flat fee for design versus charging per hour. Okay, so that's something that's a good question to ask when you start to shop around who's going to work for you. And the reason why we decided to do that is because most people, they're working on a budget. They're working with a budget. Okay, so let's just say that, you know, just to throw a number out there,
Right.
if we said to a client, okay, we can design for you, but we're gonna charge $80 an hour for a design. Well, the person walks away kind of overwhelmed and saying, oh my God, like, if this person might spend 2 hours on the design or 6 hours, how much is it gonna cost me?
Right.
You know, so just to take off some of that, you know, anxiety off the client, we decided to give a flat fee. Let's do a flat fee. Like, do you need a design? Yes. Okay, this is what it's gonna cost you. So that way they already have a number in their head,
Right.
and they already know what's it gonna cost.
Right. So maybe asking what are all the fees might be a good question to ask, because
Correct.
they might give you a charge. It's gonna cost you $20 per shirt, but then there's shipping and there's taxes
There's
and
setting
there's
fees.
setting fee and then is handling all that stuff. Right at the end, the shirt costs you $30 and you were counting out.
To ask.
Right.
You have to ask.
Right. Definitely, you know, they have to factor in the shipping
Right.
because the printer's not gonna eat the cost of the
Right. You
shipping.
can't.
Yeah.
Especially if it's
So
coming.
it's all part of business too.
It's all part of
Yeah.
business. We all know we're in business, so we
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
And that's why and when I teach the numbers part, I will help you with that, guys. But you need to count in the total cost, and then you determine the price based on that, and then how much money do you want to make, which goes back to how much are you willing to invest in the shirt versus how much money you want to make. What is the goal of the shirt? Once you figure that out, then you know how much to charge and how much you want to spend. We'll spend more time because I want to make it separately because I really want to go deep on the numbers because I'll geek out. I'll show you the formulas that I put together to help you figure it out so you're not investing. It's almost like when you buy a house and you begin to fix the house and then you fix the house too much compared to the neighborhood. When you want to sell it, nobody's going to give you what you invested because you invested too much based on what the neighborhood can afford, right? It's the same thing. If you want to charge $20, you cannot buy a shirt that's $15. You can't because you're not going to be able to make it.
Right.
You know, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I think those were all the questions that they had. I know where to find you, so I can definitely ask you if they ask. One person asked, I don't know if you know this, what's the best platform to use? Like they said, what's the best design platform to use? Somebody asked like with Shopify. I don't know if you ever use Shopify.
Yeah, I have Shopify.
Okay, so what's the best design? I guess they're asking if they're gonna do their own design, but I don't think. So let me ask you this because I really don't understand the question. If somebody has their own design, what is the requirement that you have? Like they work with another designer and they have it. What format do you need that design in order to be able to manipulate it and use it?
It all depends on what they use. Like, so if they're designing for the web, or this, because you can design for the web in the JPEG format,
Right.
or the not PDF, but you can use I'm trying to
Illustrator.
Well, you have EPS, which is more for vector-based art, and JPEG and PNG. So those file formats, which are formats for the web,
Right.
the JPEG and the PNG is more for the web.
Right.
The vector art, like Illustrator file, that's more, or like EPS, right? So that is more for like art, line artwork and stuff like that.
Right.
You can still use it for the web, but it's, you know, you can use those files for that.
Okay.
But you touched upon platforms,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can use like Wix or you can use Shopify. If you're doing e-commerce, for instance, e-commerce is, even though Wix has e-commerce, there's a whole bunch of them out there.
Right.
But the two most popular are like Wix and Shopify. And Shopify is like the top one.
Right.
But you paying a
month.
Yeah, you're paying a monthly fee, monthly.
Mm-hmm.
You have WooCommerce and things of
Right.
that nature. But if you want to keep a big cartel, there's a whole bunch of them.
Right.
I can go on and on.
Right.
But like Wix and Shopify, they have they're gonna charge you either a monthly fee if you're doing
Right.
e-commerce.
Right.
So, but if you're just doing a basic website, Wix is probably the easiest if you're doing it yourself. But if you're gonna sell, you're gonna need something. You're gonna pay either with Wix or with Shopify. And I like Shopify because they have a lot of apps that are easy and it's more, I think, more user friendly.
Right.
Than Wix is. So I'm doing my own website. I'm still updating it.
Right.
But it's easy to get around. You can upload products.
Right.
They have some jump off the templates that you can use for free, and you can start adding your own things in there. And it's easy.
Right.
And there's a lot of tutorials on how to work with them, and you can easily call them. Like there's no like. I've had problems with Wix, so I'm not promoting them.
Right.
So with Shopify, I find that it's much, much easier.
Right.
You know.
Makes sense. Yeah. So they know. I'll give you the name offline. But there's a website that I use that we like. That is very easy to use. You only pay for the transaction, so there's no monthly fee. There's no yearly fee. You use
Okay.
and it's almost like a landing page,
Right.
which is awesome. And you can embed it to your website. So I'll give you guys the name offline.
Okay.
But it's awesome, and I give them tutorials on how to use it and stuff. But I don't know if that's what you were asking. That question came from Dawn. So I don't know if that was what you were asking. Let me know if we got to answer that question for you. But there's many ways you can use Etsy to sell your shirts. I mean, you can sell your shirts everywhere.
Pinterest.
Pinterest, but people buy a lot of stuff on Pinterest too. So it's just really
Etsy is very popular.
Very popular. You need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's very competitive, so you're gonna have to keep those shirts
constant, crisp, and kind of change.
Right, but I mean, keep the cost low because the shirts are so cheap there. And I think I think what they're doing is they're printing shirts that are already made, maybe, and they're buying in bulk. Maybe that's the only way I can think of because they're
printing
selling
on demand. Print as you order.
Everything I've seen though on Pinterest, you know, because I always go in to compare, you know, to what we're doing and whatnot, and I think the cheapest I've seen is maybe $17, and that doesn't include shipping.
Right. Yeah, no. So I bought. Yeah, it all depends. They have sales and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But that's not bad. Maybe I'm spending too much on my shirts, but I spend a lot of money in shirts. And $17 is a really good deal. Like I'm not selling these shirts for $17. You can't because I got the nicest shirts. It just it just wouldn't work.
Right.
And but we'll talk pricing on the other side of things. But I think we have covered a lot. Anything that you can think of that we didn't talk about or that you like your clients to know before you work with them? Do we cover?
I think we covered everything.
You're more than welcome to provide.
Yeah, so we're gonna give it. I think you guys have
contact website.
Yeah, we'll add it to the video. You are on Facebook. What's the name of the Facebook page?
It's Inspired Graphics Apparel.
Yeah, I have Inspired. Inspired or inspired?
Inspired.
Graphic design.
Graphic. Inspired Graphics Apparel.
I already liked the page. Oh, here we go. I did like the page. It didn't come up. Yeah, so we'll add it.
Any questions? Another thing we're gonna be venturing out doing is we're gonna be doing hats.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So you'll be seeing more on that as well.
Yeah. I totally forgot about
I like this one.
Yeah, we got a lot of traffic on that actually.
Yes, that was not that long ago. And is that Avella Canvas?
Yeah. No, that's
That's the other
anvil.
one.
That's the
Okay.
anvil. This is what.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah.
That
So
was direct to garment.
right. Everything that we do is direct to garment.
Yeah, because it's just faster than you.
It's faster. I mean, I'm not opposed to using. I have a lot of the heat press. I mean, we use the heat press anyway, but to the heat transfer vinyl, I'm not opposed to using it.
So let's just give them a reference. If I'm printing one color design on hit press vinyl, and then direct to garment, what's the difference in cost? If it's the design, it's a simple one color.
It's just it's really no real
change.
no real change. The only difference is that it's more labor intensive.
So then you charge the same?
I tend to charge a little bit more
Right.
on the heat transfer vinyl,
Right.
only because it's more labor intensive.
So then, so that's something to keep in mind. So somebody's gonna charge you a little more for that. So it sounds like the way to go is the direct to garment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep it in mind, direct to garment, and then they'll help you decide. They'll give you the choice of the high grade shirt.
But shop around.
Mm-hmm.
Shop around for sure. No, ask the questions. Do you work with people? What if somebody has the shirts already?
Oh, we can work.
We do that too.
Okay.
We've had people, say to us, I have the hoodies. We've had that happen. I've had the hoodies, this is the design. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So something to keep in mind.
I have the logo. Can you print it? I have the logo and the shirts. Okay, I'll charge you X.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So those are options. So the
yeah.
things that you can, if somebody gave you an inventory that you bought for some reason,
Yeah.
you can have it.
Right.
It happens. And we won't turn those orders away.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. So inside, on the other program, on the other class, I'll show you what I do with the shirts, how I set it up. So I kind of show them already how to set up the technical part, but then placing the order.
Mm-hmm.
It's a strategy that I discovered after doing it wrong 4 times.
Yeah.
The fifth time is the charm.
Mm-hmm.
It's you need to be. We have to be good stewards of what we have.
Yeah.
And
Right.
hope marketing doesn't. I don't believe in hope marketing. I'm hoping
Yeah.
you can pray in everything.
See what sticks.
See what sticks and what
Mhm.
happens. You need to be very cautious, and I'm all about experimenting and keeping it simple and keeping it safe. And I will be sharing that in the next class. How you place the first order and how you test it, and pricing is key. I keep saying that because I need people to make money. That's
Right.
my goal in life. I want every Kingdompreneur to make a lot of money, because when we do, we don't keep it. We share it. We give it.
Absolutely.
We keep it. We multiply. We want to be
Right.
that laborer or that worker that when his boss came, he's like, hey, I tripled my money.
Right.
And I did this and I did that. Like that's that's what I
Exactly.
want. And
Right.
if you're not pricing things accordingly, you're gonna lose money. You're gonna do all that work for nothing, and ain't nobody got time for that.
Right.
So it's really knowing the strategy behind everything.
Correct.
So that was awesome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, because that was amazing. I think I learned a lot about printing. I have no idea anything about that. So that's the other side that I never knew about it. But I'm glad that we went with direct to apparel
Yeah.
printing, because I like it, and I love. I was telling him today in class during the live stream, how the shirts come like that bag. They come individually wrapped, which I love, and then they come with a little label that tells you how to care for the garment. That is key.
Right.
Like I just saw it today. I just avoided ironing it altogether. When I read it today, I realized that you put it inside out and you put it in the lower setting.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
we got it. So I learned something. So for presentation sakes, like I'm really into it. I was gonna buy the little baggies on Amazon, and somebody told me don't do it. And then when you give me the shirts that were already wrapped, I'm like, yes. But I did find some really cute padded envelopes on Amazon that I will give you guys the link, because you can buy them. They can be branded, so they're colorful. They're super amazing, and they're not a lot. So I'm gonna give that link, because it's all about branding. Like I love packaging. I love receiving stuff. So if it comes
presentation
consistent, like Coca-Cola, we know Coca-Cola everywhere. It's that red.
Right.
It's a little swoop thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So if your colors are navy and the shirts are navy and the packaging is navy, now when I see navy, I'm thinking your company.
Right.
So that's exactly what I think.
Right. because that stays with us. That's the
Yeah.
reason.
All of our orders, this is how they're packaged. We include the Inspire graphic sticker.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we thought it was a little gift.
Yeah, we throw in two. One to seal the packaging, and an extra you can put it wherever you want.
Right.
And then a card that has all the instructions on how to care.
Right. No, I was very impressed. I thought it was very cool. Something.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you guys. If you have any questions, again, make sure you put them inside the Facebook group, and I will get in contact. I will give them their contact information so you can check with them.
Anytime.
You have to let them know though that you came from from the club.
Yes.
So they can hook you up. They know.
Yeah.
They know who you are. But you can have an amazing business. This can be an income stream, but you have to know the other side. I'll teach you in the other class where you know what the numbers, black and white, numbers don't lie, remember. Thank you so much for watching, guys. You guys are amazing. Cannot wait to see your questions, and I'll see you in class.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome.
And